This is Jay, and somehow at just 23, he's already got over 1 million views across YouTube and multiple platforms and 130,000 followers plus, entirely from grinding and hard work. But Jay had the tough challenge that every entrepreneur gets stuck on. How the hell do you actually make money from this and turn it into your dream business? So I brought Jay into a private workshop, and I'm going to show you the raw behind the scenes process. So you'll see exactly how you can uncover your perfect niche, how you can build an offer, sell it with total confidence, and how a high ticket product can completely change your life. And also why creating an online course is probably the worst mistake that you could make. Trust me, let's dive in. So this is Jay. Obviously you are smashing it online with traffic. Jay, like, can you help with like, how the hell did you grow this kind of traffic? Other than work your ass off, like in
yeah. Oh no, it was tough. And I think I mean, I was doing it for a while, and I'd say a couple of things. Like, consistency is definitely a good thing. Like, the more you post, the more you kind of get it out there.
Yeah.
is really good. Like, it's funny, I was listening to an Alex Hormozy thing the other day, and he was kind of mentioned it. He's like, sometimes like you just got to kind of like brute force your way into, like, you just keep posting these videos, and eventually people will see it, and people will, talk about them and share them and stuff like that, which can really help. And then another big one, I think, is just trialing different content, because like some of my most like successful content, you can kind of see it on the screen there. It's like the kind of funny relatable TikTok sort of stuff. And but it's funny because when I started doing all these videos and content, that's not what I suspected I was going to be doing. Like, I kind of came in thinking I was going to do more like the kind of point of view type stuff, maybe a little bit of how-tos, but I kind of then got a little bit into doing like some, like, I started off with a little bit relatable and then made it a little bit more funny and entertaining, and it just sort of took off. And that was when I was like, this is the thing people like. So I'd really say, like, trying different things and trying to find like your unique thing.
Do you know the difference between, like, when it took off? Was it more about humor, or for you, or on the more relatable, or are they both kind of related?
Probably a little bit of like the two combined. But yeah, I really thought that maybe, like, you go to these really cool places out mountain biking, and these are like beautiful areas, and that would do it. But no, it didn't. It didn't really make much of a difference. But the relatable, funny stuff, I think, really did. And I think it also can help target other audiences, because you've got mountain bikers who relate to it, but some of these things that I was posting, like, people who work on cars might have a relation, or even in your daily life, like, it can have a way of connecting. And I think that just really helps make the videos more scalable and approach different audiences, and it just partly the way it helps. But I think also people like short content, they just like a laugh, so just like something's funny and sort of quick. And so not the best actor by any means, but I mean, it's good fun to do. It's good fun to do.
You did better than most. It's so hard to like act. I used to do a couple of little videos here and there, and it's like, you just get so in your head. They're like, I've seen you on the camera, like, when we go out on the trails together. It's just somehow you got into this like natural way of doing it. It's really cool. And another thing I noticed about your channel, obviously, is your dad is featured on your channel too. You guys like have this amazing like bouncing off each other with the humor and everything, which I think makes your stuff stand out from other people.
Yeah, I think that's it's kind of like I think, like I say, people like that kind of father-son relationship. And it's amazing being able to do it with my dad as well and share that hobby. But I think it was also good because we got similar humor, but then also slightly different. And it kind of just, I think it helps then, because then, like, even to the point where, like, I might say stuff that dad has no idea what it means, or like dad will make some funny reference that makes no clue to me, but it then just makes it funny in that way.
I think that's super unique, because what I'm noticing, obviously all of us are noticing, is content is getting more and more overwhelmed with like things like AI content. So we're kind of not losing the human element, but we're being swamped out. Like, the human content is still there, probably about the same size, but the AI content's probably like getting massive. So we're shrinking like the real human content. But I think there's also a space for like using AI in certain ways to get better at like us creating our content. But anyway, that's kind of off topic. But there's I think I think the people that are more human and have that connection are not only going to stand out more online versus AI content, but I believe that you're going to get the most sales because of the human connection. Because I remember reading something recently. I've heard it a million times. I can't remember what the exact quote is, but it's very much along the lines of like, people buy from the person. They buy the person rather than the actual thing. They buy like the trust and the belief in the person, the likability of the person. Obviously, you got to have like sweet product and offer as well. But if you have, the point being, if you had a sweet offer and product, but it's purely AI content, I honestly think you have a real tough time like selling. Well, I think you could sell small ticket things. Like, let's say it's a little thing for your kitchen to, I don't know, a can opener or something, the world's greatest can opener. AI could sell that, because it's a tool. but you're selling. We're looking here to talk about like high ticket money, high ticket products, right? And you to actually make business out of this, make money. You've got the audience already, and I think this human element is going to be huge.
100%. Yeah, no, I can see that for sure. Like say, building like trust and people you like and everything like that. That does way more. Like AI, like say, great tool, tool. But it's you kind of lose that kind of like heart into the product and stuff like that. 100%.
Yeah, I totally agree. So I think that will come up like as we dive in. So I threw down what you gave me. As your problems and your goals. So which is actually really useful because I don't think most people even know what their goals are half the time. Like I was just trying to prep a video on this of like we tend to know what our goal is, but I think it's just stuck in our head somewhere as a kind of a rough idea. But I don't think people actually write them down a lot. So it's good to actually take them down.
Yeah, 100%. I agree on that. Write them down would be such a good thing. But I agree, it takes.
And
I got like a rough idea, but trying to actually have like a proper like these are my goals, like that is something. Yeah, definitely should take some time to do that.
It's actually only this week that I started doing it. In fact, it was right here on my other window. So I started to create a bit of a dashboard of tasks, but then what I'm trying to get better of is filtering everything by goals. So in the ideal case, maybe to keep things really simple, you just have one goal, and then every task you do is basically filtered towards that goal. In any task. I mean, we've all got life and stuff. But let's go back to your problems and goals. So here's what you sent to me, because the whole aim of this video is to like figure out, or brainstorm, deep dive on like how do we monetize your biking business or your clothing business or whatever it's going to be. And you've got the audience. So number one, I don't know what high ticket item I could sell and monetize. And without diving into that, I did a really cool experiment yesterday. I joined a webinar for another person called Sunny, which she's amazing, and she sells similar stuff to kind of what we're making, to help entrepreneurs get leads and sales. And I was looking through the comments in that chat, and it was actually really cool to see what people were asking in the chat. So I gave the whole chat to ChatGPT and told it to summarize the problems. And I've got that somewhere on my Notion, but it's funny because this one came up a lot of like, I don't know how to sell, and I don't know how to charge. Like another common one was like, how do I charge something high ticket? I don't know whether I can get away with selling something for high ticket. And so like default to, okay, I should make something really cheap and undersell themselves. But this one came up a lot of like, what do you sell? How do you sell it? These kind of all bunched together, which is nice, into what should you make, what price it should be, and how do you actually tactically monetize it, like the action. And how do you scale it? Because there's so many ways, I think, to do it, and we can kind of break it down and brainstorm it together. I've got some AI tools up here that will help us. But you could go, for instance, like low ticket, like we've talked about before, low ticket thing, like a course that's low ticket, and then maybe off the back of those low ticket people, you would get one or two like high tickets. Which is absolutely like that would work, but it's a case of the timeline. Like that to actually get good monetization would take a long time. To basically have this as your like full-time gig. Anyone with the motivation that you have, we want, same as me, I want this to be full-time business so that we can kind of create that lifestyle freedom business. You said here, financial freedom, doing something I love and enjoy. And I think me and you have spoken a million times about how many meetings we have and everything. It doesn't matter like who you're working for, right? Summarize everything into how do I monetize and what in your particular niche. If you want to play with this GPT that we're going to jump into with Jay in a minute, then you can literally give it your expertise and work through this process with me as well to find your perfect niche. Then off the back of that, find your perfect buyer, and then find your perfect high ticket offer. And you can use that GPT to just brainstorm that out with you. The link is in the description. All right, let's jump back in. So the idea is all about monetization. So let's start, because I have a couple of GPTs we can play with, and they have some stuff for you. So what we could do is start with your expertise. Because, and that's where I was going with high ticket. If you come in and say, or if I came in and said, I'm gonna create a high ticket program about how you can get like a massive YouTube audience in 30 days. Like, I can't do that because I haven't done it. So I have to do the hard work to do it, and then I can help people. Now you've done it, so you may not, I don't know whether you can do it in 30 days, but you have that expertise and you have the proof, like social proof. So I think when we look at expertise and proof, there may be two different things, because you may have expertise but no like client proof. But both of these are worth looking at. And also, sorry, there's one more thing, plus passion. We'll give these to GPT in a minute and then see what happens. Okay. So expertise. Now I know some of your stuff, a lot of your stuff. So why don't we start with like obviously MTB, like which is mountain biking for other people.
Yep.
So MTB skills.
Yep. Skills. That sounds good.
If you were to rate your expertise, so I know that feels a weird thing to do, but rate not in terms of how pro biker you are, but in terms of if you were to teach other people bike skills, beginners to intermediates, then what would you rate yourself being able to like help people? Forget the online, offline thing for a minute or in person, but in terms of how confident would you be that you could teach someone that was beginner or intermediate?
I think I'll go give like a 6. I don't know whether that's going a bit too low or.
You undersell yourself, man. I've seen you fly off those jumps. I'm going to give you a 7.
I like it. I'd like a 7.
Yeah, no, totally.
It's that we've talked about it before. It's the teaching side of it, like trying to remind myself, like when it becomes almost natural, trying to remind yourself, like breaking it down of actually how would you do and how is it going to be the easiest way for someone to pick up and learn that.
Yeah, and I think sometimes with the expertise, we would judge ourselves based on if you were going to do it right now. But I bet you, if you said, or okay, if I said to you, before you get to rate yourself, you get 10 sessions to practice with people to warm up and know what you're doing. Like, would you go up a rating if you had?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. All right. Definitely. Yeah. Definitely.
That was a really interesting question because I too, if I would feel nervous for the first one, the first high ticket thing I ever did, I would feel nervous, and that's why I think the free work thing is a really good hack for getting the confidence.
Yeah.
But after a few reps, same as like getting on camera, I think the first time is crazy, and then after the time you're like, oh, it's not so bad.
Yeah, exactly. It's easier and easier.
Okay, so we'll stick with a 7, and then proof. So do you have any friends or people on the trails, including your dad, including me, that you've actually taught some skills to, even if it's like little things or medium things? Like how many?
I would say there's been some people, like say probably more on like a smaller scale. But that being said, actually, I think on I'd have to go back and look, but I'm sure on some of the comments on some of my like how-to videos, there's people who have said like it's kind of helped them manage to do that trick.
Sweet. So we got like online comments, and then like 5 in person or more, 5 to 10.
Go 5 to 10. Yeah,
sweet. That's good to know. Because sometimes, like for me, I have a ton of experience in different areas, but a lot of it is just me, like me and me. Like mindset stuff is usually me, self-development me. Like I have habit systems that have got me incredible results, but I've never actually run through them with someone else. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
And then passion for biking, skills specifically. So a good way to think, obviously passion makes sense, but to make it more specific, if you were to be doing as your offer MTB skills for 5 years, would that passion still be there over 5 years, do you think?
I truly think it will be, because I think the more I thought about it recently, I feel like the skills is something that I think they said the passion would be there, because I think something like being able to help people get better at mountain biking, I think would just be such like a rewarding thing. And it's something that I think I'd love to be able to do. It's in the past I've sort of like, you know, we've talked about before, but almost had doubts in how good I'd be at teaching people. But I mean, it's exactly what I'd love to do. If I can make someone better on the bike, that would be amazing. Do you know what I mean? So even like I said on a video, when I've done a how-to video and someone's commented saying it's helped them, like that means a lot. Do you know what I mean? It's so good that I've managed to help someone. Like that's the goal at the end of the day, to help people, because everyone wants to get better. Don't everyone wants to get better out on the bike? And so by any means necessary, I'd love that. So I think the passion could be really, really high for that.
It's the 9.
Yeah, do it. I like it.
Possibly a 10.
Yeah, I was tempted for a 10.
9.8.
It was maybe the 5 years. That's like
yeah, well, it's an interesting like perspective. Like for me, someone said, because I've been through, so it's good to share stuff. I've been through a divorce, and I've had a lot of people, because I somehow managed to get through that situation pretty well, like pretty positively and happily, and good transition, and we're good friends, obviously, as you know. And so I had so many people saying like, well, aren't you missing the obvious? Like you could help people get through their divorces. And for guys especially, and I was always like, I know there's things I could do, like action habits definitely helped me through like launching a new path after that, and that really helped me. But it just feels really heavy, like it feels off. I feel like I would be stuck in these conversations of people complaining about their exes for weeks and weeks and weeks. So the passion was like, I'm not sure about that. Like that could be fantastic.
I see it. I can see both sides of that for sure.
Bike maintenance expertise. What do you think? My gut tells me a 9 from what I know.
Yeah, I would say 8
things
8 to 9, I guess.
You've rebuilt whole bikes. And that's a plug for you if anyone's out there that wants their bike working on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Online,
I love it. I love bikes. Love bikes.
Yeah, and you're basically pro maintenance at like other things as well. I can't go into like what you do, but
Yeah.
heavily experienced in maintenance in general.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, spent a long time doing mechanical work.
Yeah,
which is then just like really helped with the passion and doing bikes in the free time. It's just really helped learn loads and loads of skills, which has then made it so much better for when working on the bikes.
Yeah,
just understanding all that the kind of stuff behind it. So yeah, it's been super good.
Amazing. And then for the proof, is it also, have you helped people with online comments as well? And I know you've done in person.
Yeah, so it's online comments. Yeah, we did one before where it was kind of helping someone via sort of almost like text and kind of just talking, like like friends have issues with bikes and you can just sort of talk them through and
so
stuff like that. And then my dad as well. He's quite good evidence. Fixing and tinkering with his bike all the time.
Yeah. Awesome. So again, same question for passion. If you were to put them side by side, you were working on skills and bike maintenance over 5 years, and that was like you were building either the course for skills or bike maintenance. I think there's a path where you can have both. But if you did one or the other, what would you rate passion?
I'd probably put it a little bit lower than the skills.
Yeah,
I think it might be. It's hard because like doing the maintenance is great because you can save people money, but I think the thing I feel most people want more than anything is to get better on the bike. So I feel like the passion would be a little bit lower, but I mean I still feel super high. So I'd say like a 9.
9 as well. Sweet, that's cool. Yeah, I think when I worked on your project, I wrote some custom GPTs to try and help with it, and it was all. We'll get to it in a second. It was suggesting some cool stuff around a combination of both, actually. So
yeah, I think that's
I have some really cool concepts. So I want to see. I just have to make sure I find the right windows. But there is this one that I made, which is called the FastOff Validator Pro Marketer by Emma Levin. My stuff. So the idea of this is exactly what we're doing right now. You give it your expertise, and I guess I'd had some guesses for you here. And then it will actually start to suggest so I always call it the problem, your offer, you can think of it in terms of like the A to B of what you're helping people go from painful place or stuck place to some kind of transformation to B. So like not having to go out to fix your bike and spending a ton of money in the bike shops, as we talked about before, problems being without your bike for potentially weeks. You go in one fix and you've got 5 things that you had to pay for that you didn't even think needed fixing. It's a problem. And then you go to a place where, okay, you know, the B would be, I know how to fix like the top 10 things on my bike that I was paying hundreds of dollars or pounds for. So you're actually saving money, right?
Yeah.
So that'd be the A to B for that. And then A to B for skills coaching, I guess would be like, well, maybe you can help me out with what you kind of want to think of it in terms of what the person would be saying. So right now, well, let's say if the end result B was they were able to do their 10 favorite tricks, bunny hops, drops, whatever you list them for me. But what is how would you define the pain of where they're at now? It's tricky to say pain because skill coaching is an interesting one because it's not like a burning pain, like I have a headache and I need my headache fixed immediately. But is there a pain that you could describe?
I feel almost like maybe frustration, I guess, could be a part of it because and this is what I've experienced with Dad, for example. Like when we're around the trail is kind of, I think first of all, you can be kind of riding down this trail and have such good flow, and then there just could be a drop, and then suddenly there's no way around that drop. And there's a trail that we ride in Wales. It's a great example of this, but super fun flow trail, absolutely love it. But you get towards the bottom and it's got the drops. They do get bigger and bigger, and there's no way around them. And so then someone like my dad who can't do drops has to kind of stop, get off the bike. You kind of killed the flow, and it just breaks up the trail. And I mean, sometimes it's so hard to even walk your bike down features. So I guess it's almost a frustration of you could be on a really good trail, and you're kind of stuck and limited to what you could do, or even in general for just the kind of the amount of trails you can ride. Sometimes when you go onto a trail that's harder, it's got plenty of nice flowy features that someone like my dad could do. But because of the dotted, technical stuff that's within that, he kind of doesn't do that trail. And so it's almost that limitation and
confidence. Yeah. Which I think is super common because, I'm in BC, Canada, obviously, but we're home of the trails. So when I moved here, I remember those first times out on the bike, going out with friends on a black trail.
Yeah.
And I just had a hardtail bike, and I'd never ridden like that credit line that
Yeah.
and that was my first ride on credit line, and
That's great. That's right. That is great.
but a hardtail bike that was like $300 or $400.
Play.
And I walked so much stuff, but I did have an amazing time. But then bit by bit, I unlocked parts of that trail, but there was still like 3 or 4 bits that I had the same frustration where like I know I could do it now. Technically in theory I could do it, but they can't get over the mental thing to just like drop in. So yeah, I can feel, and I've experienced this as well. And I know like your dad, same thing. And I'm thinking also, this will come up in the GPT in a minute, which is interesting, like kids, about kids just learning as well and building that confidence. And interestingly with kids, they can be like incredibly confident and fearless.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they got that fear factor. Yeah, they're just willing to go for it, mate. So
but sometimes they haven't even hit the mental limits yet. But there could be other issues like strength training if they're like 8 years old and they still need a bit of like muscle to do technical climbs or whatever. So there's a whole array of things I think on, and for me, we'll look at the analysis on GPT in a minute, but I think they do fall into that category of like mental confidence, biking, and technical skills as well. So I think MTB skills does have a ton of stuff, and then basically we're saying going to B, which is more like confidence, like the feeling of flow and adrenaline we've talked about before, just enjoyment of a trail. I don't know.
That's it. When you just do these features one after another and you keep that flow going down the trail, you're just buzzing on. You're like at the end of it, and that's it, isn't it? That's that feeling of just keeping that level of excitement growing rather than having to kind of stop, get off your bike, and kind of ruin it.
I totally agree. And I've felt that many times, same as you. So sweet. We'll leave that there. I won't do the A to B on this, but I think we know. Actually, I will do the A to B just to mention, because there's some key points on that A to B, which you said of let's do the A and be like this. But you said that this one is about saving money and potentially like time away from the bike. But there is when I look at the A to B things, like things that have an ROI, a return on investment, in terms of if it's monetary or saves you time or saves you pain, then it's a lot easier to sell an offer like that rather than something that if I just had like a 30-day confidence course and you can't really measure how much confidence you're going to get, it's not as powerful as if I say like there's like just a button that you can put on your desk and I'll sell it, and then every time you press that button you get $1,000 in your bank account. Like everyone would buy that button because it's so specific, and you're like, oh, I just got to check if it works. $1,000 zero.
You need that button. You need to make that.
Totally. So this one has some power because it has a specific and when I'm going through the A to Bs, I'm always thinking like, how do we make them more specific? But generally you can start off with a basic A to B, which is directionally correct, as my friend Taylor would always say, which is quite a useful statement because you kind of get something within the ballpark of like, okay, this could work. And then you can kind of wrestle with that A to B, make it more specific, make the B a bit more powerful or a bit better value. And then you can actually, I think Alex Hormozi talks about that a lot, like turn a basic offer into a really insane, like powerful offer just by tweaking the little parameters or the variables a little bit, how specific it is, like how much you get in the package, like how much you bundle stuff together, bonuses, all that kind of stuff. So on this one, I just said, let's go. And what it does is start off with your experiences. So anyone could come in here. If anyone's watching this on YouTube, they can come in with maybe they've got 3 areas of expertise from the 9 to 5 or whatever. You can just throw at your expertise, and then it will start to work out those A to B like potential problems for you. So let's start off with this one for the basic, and we'll see what it comes up with. So I gave it this one had like rate your passion and experience out of 10. So let's see what I gave you before you rated yourself. So 9 passion. I gave you 6 lower for bike maintenance. That's fun. What did you have? So you had 9 for passion. Did you have 9 for bike maintenance passion?
Yeah,
that's sweet. That's more than I thought. Cool. And then experience 7 and 7. That's probably a bit low. 7. I got that one. You got 7. Yeah, that definitely. I knew that was more for sure. I don't know why I put 7. Anyway, so then it gives you a score and blah blah blah, and it will suggest in theory what one of the directions to go in based on the score. So it can be quite useful for people. Then, based on this, it tries to work out like what kind of problem could we solve to build an offer. So let's narrow this down to find burning A to B problems and here's a really important thing. Tom Bilyeu always says this, that rather than finding, so what we're doing here is kind of guessing an A to B problem, our best guess based on what we've seen.
Yeah.
But what we need to do is validate that it's real before you go down. Like, so let's say you were making an online course. You could spend months making an online course based on your A to B idea, but that's a really dangerous way. And I've screwed up that so many times with like, cool idea, go make it, cool idea, go make it, rather than do it. So we have to almost do it backwards, to find the person and then find out what the A to B problems are for the person, and then match that back to the experience that we already have, almost go backwards.
Yeah.
But let's see what it said. So it said, so it needed clarification. What type of rider do you usually help? Total beginners. So I think that's important. Are you focused on helping total beginners, intermediate trail riders, or pros or downhill endurance? So
I think a mixture of the first two, probably beginners and intermediate.
Sweet. That's what I guessed for you, because
perfect.
Pros would be a whole nother ball game, right?
yeah, absolutely.
And you probably need to, again, talking of experience, you'd have to have experience coaching pros, or being a pro yourself. All right, so number 2, specific transformations and problems that you help them solve. So I did basic and technical trails, downhill but not pro. But then suddenly through this idea, and I'm not sure if you're interested in this idea, but I was thinking of, when we're thinking about ideal customers, these days I'm trying to think more about who has money to spend on your offer. Yeah. Because kids with bikes, like teenagers with bikes, may want to know all the skills from your course, but they'll probably only spend a small budget on the course. Whereas what was interesting is maybe you could even sell to parents that have money, that want to teach their kid. They want to pay for their kids to learn. So that could be a good angle. Is the screen share still going?
Yeah, it's still going.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like that a lot. I like that angle a lot. I think that's that. Yeah, exactly. You want that, don't you?
Well, there could be. I think there's a big. Literally, I've been talking about the affluent clients for a few weeks now, and I'm working on that for my own offer. I can't remember where it originally came from, but then a video from Alex Hormozy popped up. I'll send it to you yesterday. And it was basically, the same thing, stop selling to people that don't have money. It was the short bet. And he was trying to make the point that the people that spend the money are really invested in just solving the problem quickly. Whereas people that are just dabbling and want to spend a small amount of money are probably only trying to solve the problem part-time anyway. So they're just not too, it's not a burning problem, so they're not willing to spend a lot. The process here would be go from your expertise. We will do it backwards, but go from your expertise, try and find an A to B, and then work out who would buy that A to B offer. And to tag onto that, does that person have money available to throw at the problem? And is it an important problem enough that they would like throw their money at you instead of wanting their money? They want to have those bike skills. So could be parents for the kids. Exactly. They would be more than happy to spend high ticket, because we're mostly talking about high ticket and not low ticket. We can talk about that in another call. We're just trying to like brainstorm high ticket. So question, is it possible to design a solution with online coaching? Yeah, because it asked me roughly where you located, because it was trying to angle that you might be teaching in person, I think. So I said, is it possible for online coaching, which has always been our biggest question about biking. So
it has,
let's see what it says. So 100% possible, but it needs to be positioned and structured correctly, because mountain biking is so physical and location based. So true story. Let's break this down like a pro marketer.
Absolutely,
So this is where I love GPT, it's so fun. So yes, you can do coaching online if you package it as a transformation system, not just tips. And this is where I really liked what it said. I remember this, because it's not just saying you're a skills package. It's selling more like confidence and yes, the skills, but it's funny, we already identified the mindset stuff, like the confidence to do drops and stuff like that. So it's more working with people on their biking kind of confidence as well. So here's 4 proven ways to deliver MTB coaching online. So video skill, let me know a little gut rating on each one of these in a minute. So video skill analysis and feedback. Clients upload GoPro or phone clips. You give expert breakdowns, technique corrections, and progression drills. For intermediates, downhill trail riders, example, high ticket angle, ride clinic anywhere, pro coach feedback on your riding within 24 hours. Let me know how you're feeling.
I really like that one, because I think some of the struggles I've thought about before, some of the, trying to get connection and have it where, you can each sort of see each other, or like say if you're out on the trail, I think that's perfect. If you could have it where people send in videos, we watch them, analyze them, and then go through it. I think that'd be a really good way of doing it.
All right, let's pause for a second. If you want to just play with the GPT that we've been working on with Jay here, the link is in the description. All right, let's jump back in.
Nice. Yeah, so you could, it could be whatever format, like over WhatsApp, people are firing you videos. The only thing you might have to just be careful of is you're not in creating a trap for yourself where you're just pounded with WhatsApp videos. You're like too successful, and then you've got 100 videos a day to be like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But by that point, you'll be getting enough money from the high ticket that you could start building a little network team of people to, like, Jay and his team are going to get back to you. So there's always ways out of that.
Yeah, and then that can sort of almost maybe filter the videos and people's problems into sort of a manageable way.
Perfect. So
I really like that. That's really good, because that's exactly how it worked with a friend of mine. Like when I was saying about before, with like the gears, he had a problem with his gears, and he just sent me a few videos. I could then look through the videos, send him some stuff back, and it was a really good way of doing it, because that way, he can just use a phone, and then I can see what I need to see and help him. And if I needed to, I could go and grab my bike and sort of mimic what he needs to do. That's a really good way of doing it.
Yeah, I love that too, because it also gives you a little breathing room where you don't have to be solving a problem. Like you can do what we were talking about, like potentially like one-on-one, like bike maintenance, but doing skills would be very hard. Whereas the format of sending them back and forth doing skills, I think, would fit a lot better. You can also do a combination of where you do one-on-one with people, so they get, and you could cap it. You could say, okay, someone gets like 10 feedback videos max, like for this price, but you can have more, 20 feedback videos within a month or something, kind of cap it if it gets out of control. But you could do a combo of like one-on-one, because what I love about that, Jay, is it's personalized, right? So it's, people love that, and you could be like, oh, you just nailed that drop, that's amazing, you've been working on that for weeks, and like build up people's confidence as well. So personalized feedback on the videos, and that could be, or ideally is a combo, not just of skills, but of like encouraging their confidence and building their confidence and stuff.
Yeah.
Sweet. And then you could also, I was thinking with this, you could do like a Zoom demo of like every 2 weeks or something. You could do in a group Zoom where you're like demoing one skill. And if you want to make that easy, so you're not on the bike, you could pre-record that and say, we're going to go through this video, like slow motion of, we're going to go through this video, and they could vote on what the next skill is. And you could even break down like pro riders doing an insane skill, and you could like break it down in steps and mindset of how they could build up to doing it step by step. One thing for sure to keep an eye on is making sure you like liability. You're doing skills. If anyone gets injured, it's then you're not accountable.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I think
good point.
To put in your course.
Yeah.
When people book an ATV ride like you guys did, then the ATV is clearly not responsible.
So, exactly. I'll drive it.
Sweet. So I only have a few minutes left on this part, but let's see if we can get further through this. So structured skill progression program, 6 to 8 week online course with drills, habit tracking, video examples, and weekly accountability. So this is more like there's a guided course. And the cool thing is you don't have to make all the videos up front. You can make them like drip feed it. So you make week 1 videos, but you design the outline of the 6 to 8 week program online and do it in batches. So the nice thing about that is you can open up a number of spots to say, hey, we're going to do, like, cap this at 20 people, so it's personalized, something like that. 6 to 8 week program where you go through, here's the list of skills we're going to go through, but they can also like add their own requests. And obviously you'd be picking the top skills. And then the good thing about the deadline is, or a program like that runs over a number of weeks, is that you can do a deadline saying, we've got limited spots saying the doors are closing by a certain date, and then you kick off your course, and then you just do the whole loop again and keep improving it as you go. So this is more structured. This is like more one-on-one, personalized, back and forth. This is a structured program that runs every 6 to 8 weeks ish, or 4 weeks, whatever. Thoughts?
I like that one. I do prefer the first idea, but I like that. I like that. Again, I think the setup about having video examples and being able to then go through them and stuff like that is a good good way. It makes it easier because I think, let's say the biggest problems I had were how do we do this live and how do we get it when you're out on the trail. But I think if I can pre-record the videos and the drills and everything, and then use the live sessions to go through those, I think that'd make it that's super. Yeah, really good way of doing it. And I like how that one has the accountability, because that's a big thing.
Yeah, for sure. So structure. Hang on, let me get you. Sweet. So 9 out of 10 for the first one. It's more like one-on-one.
Yep.
But you could hybrid these. You could have that one-on-one program. You could do one group session every 2 weeks or something for your people. You can pack this however you want, but primarily one-on-one. This is more like structured week group program.
Yeah.
So sorry. Yeah, I assume 9 out of 10. But
yeah,
did you say?
Yeah, I like that.
Sweet.
Yeah, 9 out of 10 is good. And then I'd give that 7.5.
Sweet. All right. And then, okay, hybrid, local, and online. Okay, this is interesting, but I'm not sure if this is going to be ideal yet, but maybe combine 1 or 2 in-person clinics with online follow-up. I'll let you gut feel that.
Yeah, I think I feel it's a little bit limiting by having it where you need to do it locally, and I think then it can be a little bit tougher with that one. I think just trying to find a good time to do it when everyone's free, trying to find it where like it's not in England, like having it tracking it down with rain. So I think probably there's a few more kind of, it's a really cool idea and a cool concept, but it's probably got quite a lot of factors into it.
Yeah, and my advice would be, because you have such an epic audience that you've worked hard, that number, so we're talking 100, what was it, like 120, 130,000 at least?
Yeah, around that number, yeah.
Yeah, it's huge. So within that number, as we've always said, the clients that would want something like this are there. So you wouldn't really need to go local to limit yourself as local when you have 130,000 people. And if you're high ticket, all you got to do is find 10 people to just get this ball rolling. So if we can't find 10 people in 130,000, then we're not doing our job.
What's happening?
We're absolutely going to find these people. This is exciting, man. Okay. So last one, I have to go shortly, but mindset and fitness. I didn't even think about this, but then this got me interested. I want to see your vibe on this of fitness for MTB performance as well. And then I was thinking, well, you could package some of this stuff together. I think I even asked that later, so we'll get to that. But mindset and fitness for MTB performance, focus on fear, focus in MTB specific strength for older riders and busy parents. See, this is so smart. That does fit. It really fits. Ride strong, any age. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a new way of doing it.
Yeah, but I think you could even run a combo that you could run 2 courses. You could run, it may be overwhelming for you, but probably not because you're so passionate. You could run a ride clinic for people, like one-on-one skills, and then you could almost run this as a separate program at the same time.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Small group, but because you could limit this to 10 people, you could limit this to 5 or 10 people, and then and so all of these ideas, we haven't really talked about it yet, but we'll talk about it maybe later. Validation is where it's going to be gold, especially with your audience, because you've got big numbers. So you could, to test these out, let's say you picked 1 and 4, you would then go, so the action would be go and create a waitlist page, a waitlist landing page, just to make this really clear, for 1 and 4, assuming you wanted to investigate both of them, and then just measure the signals of interest. So obviously that would be not only like how many people signed up with the email, but how many landing page hits did you get from your content, but also how many views you got on like the content for those. So we'll wrap up part 1 in a second, but here's what, if you were putting this into a game plan, let's say you loved, or what rating would you give number 4?
I'd give that an 8.
Sweet. Okay. So let's say, and it'd be pretty easy to take the A to B format and apply that to this, to say, I help people go from scared, like feeling fear on the trails, not being able to do the drops and enjoy the trail that they know they could love, to being able to like people that are also a little bit older riders or busy parents or struggling with fitness, being able to optimize their biking fitness and handle like the top 10 like trail features with confidence kind of thing. So you can mold that into the A to B offer. And that is the kind of language that you then put on a landing page. So yeah, if you were putting this into an action plan to measure if there was interest, and so that's where the validation comes in. We've got two big ideas, but in theory, we don't build anything yet. We just build nothing except a landing page, and we test to see if we can get some hits. And you might find this, because it's niche for a certain type of audience, it could be a massive winner. Like this one could be a massive winner. So the testing is really kind of fun, especially when you've got your kind of traffic numbers, because you got really small traffic. It's hard to get any like accurate testing. You have to then research online a lot. Cool. So the action would be set up a waitlist page, landing page for 1 and 4, and using very specific messaging, messaging and A to B, and like so very specific A to B and a very specific avatar, which I don't even say avatar now. I always just say ideal buyer. So who is the ideal buyer? It's older riders, busy parents. Ideal buyer here is intermediate downhill trail riders, potentially parents with kids. And then you set up the wait list page, but then you create, I would say, 5 shorts. So this will be for you, it'll be like YouTube, IG, and TikTok with a direct line. So Tom Bilyeu always talked about the direct line marketing. So direct line to the wait list A to B thing. And then I would say, and everything should have call to action to go to that landing page, and probably not subtle one. We talked about that before. So, and then 2 long forms on YouTube, which again, a direct line. So by direct line, I'm talking the whole topic of the video, short or long, is about this. So let's see if we can think of 2 quick examples just to wrap this part up. If you were doing expert breakdown on tips correction, so what would be the number 1 skill that people would love to do? And when I say people, that intermediates, downhill riders would love to do.
The bunny hop. Bunny hop. Yeah.
Perfect. So the video topics would be, as we talked about, like how to not do the bunny hop. Not do. Now, question for you, where it gets interesting. The people that want to do, out of all the bikers that want to do bunny hops as a skill, is it still valid for the people that have money? So let's say the potentially older bike riders that have money available to spend on this course, like your dad, would they be also looking to do bunny hops as well? I think I've seen your dad trying to do a lot of bunny hops.
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. So that's what I'm trying to do these days, make sure it's valid for an audience that has money, and it's not just valid for kids that are not going to spend any money on your stuff, but they'll love it.
I think that's valid. That's needed for anyone, really. Anyone, everyone.
Perfect. So how not to do a bunny hop, and then how to do it basically goes to your CTA, to the landing page, call to action. And then you can test these out first on shorts, and then if things get hits, turn them into long form and see if they still get hits. So really quickly, for the last one, mindset and fitness for MTB performance. So now we're focusing on older riders and busy parents who looking at fear and focus and strength, but also I would combo like skills for older riders or slightly more unfit riders, busy parents. So what video would you make based out of all you know about your industry and your audience, for this kind of style audience? Would you say a more mindset and fear-based thing would hit harder than a skills thing, or which would hit the best?
I think a skills thing would hit the best.
Okay, perfect. So for number 4, you could pick another skill video, and then you can also test out every type. So you have 1 short on a fear thing, one short on a skill thing. I'll show you through the rest of this later because it gets really interesting. I'll send this to you. As it gets further down, it gets even better, as you can see here by these kind of. So
that's so good.
Yeah. All right, Jay, that's part one then.
That's amazing. Yeah,
It's exciting.
that's really
Yeah, get it. And that's just some of the ideas. There's going to be a lot more. Okay,
I feel
I have
like
to
we've
pick up.
finally like figured out that high ticket. But yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you're nervous about high ticket whatsoever, we just do it for free for a little bit to get some proven case studies, and then the nerves will go.
Love that.
All right, man.
Love that.
All right, so if you want to try my custom GPT out, the link is in the description. If you want the full detailed breakdown of how to go from 0 to 10K, including finding your niche and your offer, then watch this video next.